go live. Hello. Child, they was giving me a hard time. I am here. Sorry, y'all. I was like, Facebook was like, not today. Facebook is a hater. Anyway, we're focused. We're here. Can you hear me? I'm super excited because today we have a special guest to talk about investing. Who has been wanting to invest, but has been afraid? So if that is you, put a 1 in the comments. If being afraid has kept you from investing. Okay? All right. Let me know. I'm gonna be drinking my water this whole time, my seltzer water this whole time. That has been me. So even though I'm the budgetnista, and you would think like, oh girl, you good at money. I am good at money, but I'm not a good at all things money. And I struggled because I made some really big investment mistakes that cost me a lot of money, including losing my home to foreclosure in my 20s. So I made me really afraid to get back in the game, coach. And I realized that the only way that I was going to get back to investing is if I felt like I had a teacher. And I known of my current investing coach now, Teri, for some time. And we got to really spend time together. And I was just so impressed because 1, Teri went to MIT, that's where the smarty artists go. 2, she was a vice principal for many years. So she's an educator like myself. I used to teach. 3, she's got her master's in ministry. So there's this grounding there. 4, she's just a dope sister. Okay. It's so knowledgeable and she's successful. So Teri had the #1. Teachable is one of the #1 platforms for teaching online courses. She had the #1 course across all platforms, like all Teachable courses for a few years. #1, meaning the most people purchase her course, which is amazing. And she's helped over 35,000 students, not only so some of them had made $1,000 in a day, some of them $10,000 in a day. And Teri herself, a couple of times, has made $1 million in a day with the trade. I've seen it live when she did it live online, and I was like, whoa. I to find someone, because when you're looking for a teacher, you're not just looking for someone who knows how to do the thing. You're also looking for someone who knows how to teach the thing. And that is Teri. I'm not gonna be running my mouth all night. We bringing her up, okay? Can y'all give Teri a warm dream catcher welcome? But first of all, I'm a little salty because I see how y'all show up when I got guests. Because when I say I'm coming, you're like, oh, Tiffany, it don't be looking like this. It's thick in here. That's all right, though. Tell your friends, tell a friend, tag, share. Hey, Teri.
Hey, Tiffany. How you doing? Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
They came out for you, Teri. They was in here early, too, talking about, I can't wait. I said, oh, really?
I appreciate y'all. And Tiffany done gassed me up. I was in education for 10 years, but I was only assistant principal at the end of it. You had to get promoted for that.
Please. It's the education part that I care about, which is why you're so good at what you do.
Thank you.
And so when I'd known Teri for some years, but it wasn't until February of this year where I was like, you know what? She invited me to hang out at her house in Dallas. And so I came and it just like clicked. I was just like, Teri, would you teach me how to invest? And she said, sure. And we got to talking. I was really excited. And she said, I'm having a challenge coming up, this 5-day like masterclass, and it's live. And I said, for the people or for me? Because I wasn't thinking about y'all at that moment. And Teri was like, for the people. I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. As long as you can still teach me, which she definitely agreed to. But yeah, she's got this 5-day masterclass. And I'm so excited. So I wanted her to come on and do just a Q&A. So you literally get, like, most people that I bring on to introduce you to, these are the people that I use. Teri is my investing coach. That's why I said, keep it cute, right? And so you get Teri here for the next 35, 45 minutes.
Yeah, let's go.
But so Teri, you did mention that, like, so what made you decide to, because Teri and I also went to Zanzibar together. We went to Dubai for a mastermind together and then ended up going to Zanzibar after. We had such a beautiful time. And you said something there sparked you to want to move forward and do this.
Yes. And it's going to be a little bit of a story, y'all, but follow me. So Tiffany and I went to Zanzibar and we went to go see the Maasai. So like they're the people that like herd all the cattle and the sheep, and they live out in the open in the wilderness. So we're in huts and we're like seeing them dance and sing, and they're jumping and doing all this stuff. And like literally right after that, we went and we got into the car. and I looked at my phone, and my friend had just posted that he had made all this money in NVIDIA. And
Mm.
NVIDIA was shooting up, and I started feeling like, oh man, like where was I? Dang, I should have been in that trade. Because usually I'm trading for income, and we're in and out, and we're doing single stocks, and we're making the most return. And I had just had this beautiful experience, just been out in Africa, and I'm sitting here looking at my phone, feeling like I missed out.
Mm.
And I was in that for, I wish I could tell y'all that it was like a couple seconds, but no, I was sitting there feeling some kind of way for at least 5 minutes. Like, dang, he made some money and I didn't make any money. And then I had to think about it though. I said, no, I am still invested. I'm invested in the S&P 500, and the
Mm.
S&P 500 holds NVIDIA. So
Okay.
I'm still making money on this stock, even though I was out enjoying my life. I was in Africa. I was having a great time with Tiffany. I was
Mhm.
jumping with the Maasai and dancing and all the things. And it made me start thinking, like, usually I teach people about active investing, and that's what I still love. But there is a way to be able to be invested but be more peaceful.
Mm.
And for all of the people that are busy and active and have lives, like, I want to make sure I teach you all that. So that's what we're covering in the challenge, because I want to make sure you have both parts.
Yes.
The okay, let money run and make some money while it's chilling, and the okay, we can get in, get out, and we can make some money type of stuff. Does that make sense, Tiff?
It does, because the truth of the matter is, you had said something earlier that was like such a aha moment. Can you kind of just describe, and then we're gonna take you guys' questions. So I see you, you fangirling. That's cute. You better get your questions because you don't get, we don't get a Terry every day now. You know what I had to do to get Terry on here? Child, her admin was giving me all kind of 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was like, Terry, please, please. The ladies need to put the babies to bed, honey. We need you now. And so, like, don't get your questions asked, okay? Share this video, tag somebody. You get one of the best in the business and one of the kindest in the business answering your investing question. So, you said something earlier about kind of like the levels. It was like super, super beginner, mid, and then obviously like more expert level. Can you describe what that was? Because the way you described the savings as investing, I was like, it really was mind blowing. Can you share what that is?
Sure. I think there's three levels to investing, and I'm so glad even I'm growing. Because if you would ask me this, I've been trading now for investing for 14 years. If you had asked me this years ago, I would have been like, no, the only way to invest is to do this, this, and this. But I'm growing, and I'm like, no, there's multiple ways to invest. You can do both and. So the first level, I think, is to have savings accounts that are giving an interest, like a high yielding savings. And I know that you talk to the ladies in the community about that.
Mhm,
Those can give you about 4 to 5% return.
mhm.
So even if you just have your money in the right account and it's giving you a return, you're already an investor. That, like, so the fear of, I don't know if I can be an investor, what does it take to invest? You put your money in the right account and now you're making money. You're good. You are in there, you're done.
Mhm.
But then the second level is the more passive that invest in the indexes, and indexes is a big word for just saying invest in the overall market. So there are some different groups of companies like the Dow, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq. That's like the tech stocks.
Mhm.
Those indexes usually have about an 8 to 10% return. So if you're thinking, okay, 5% is cool, but I want a little bit more than that, then the next level is, okay, let's get you invested in the indexes, the overall market. Those usually return that 8 to 10%, even if you're not watching. So on a yearly basis, they say they average about 8 to 10%.
Mhm.
Let's get you invested in those. That's that middle category.
Mhm.
And then next you say, okay, 8 to 10 is cute, but now I want to go even higher, Terry. I want to make 20%. I want to make 15 more, right? That's when we start doing individual stocks and we say, okay, let's teach you how to pick the right companies, pick the right time to invest in them, know how to get in and out of them to make income. So that's that higher level. But I think those are the three.
Okay, and I love that because you can get in where you fit in. Most of us have some sort of savings account, and hopefully it's in a high yield savings account. So that's like super, super beginner. You're already doing that. And then Terry with this 5-day masterclass, which I put that link below, budget needs to stock bonuses. You can sign up there. This 5-day masterclass, then you kind of get this intermediate level. And then certainly this is what I plan to do. So during this 5-day masterclass, I'm a student. And then I plan to, after that, say, okay, what is the next level? Because I do want to earn more. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward, but you don't have to risk as much if you have um somebody to guide you through the process and additional education. So let's Terry, like the floor is yours. There's so many questions. You want to just start to look through?
Sure. So I seen several. I seen how much does it start to, or how much money do you need to start investing? Honestly, I think it really depends how much the stock cost. So there's some stocks right now, like even Amazon, Google, they're all under $200. So
Mm.
you can get started pretty easy. The ones we're going to teach you in the challenge are the indexes, and to do those, you'll need about $300 to $500. But it really doesn't take a lot to get started. You just need the cost of being able to buy a share of a company, or to do the indexes, it's called an exchange traded fund. We won't get into too many details, but that's what we'll teach, right?
And
We'll
even if you
do
don't
the
have that money, you've said before that like it is possible to do a simulator where you get
yes,
to use
yes.
paper money online.
Yes. And if you're thinking like, okay, I don't even have that, then I was telling Tiffany, still come learn. Like it doesn't hurt to learn, especially if you're afraid. Come learn, hear what we're talking about. And then there are ways, it's called a simulator to practice with paper money. And you can practice, press the buttons, see what we're doing, try to do what we're teaching. And then you can say, oh, okay, this isn't too bad.
Mhm.
Or maybe it's not for you, but at least you learned, figured that out, you practiced, and then you do something different. But yes, with a simulator, it doesn't take any money to get started. You just practice.
Good.
Mhm.
What's some other
Um,
questions?
I see a ton of questions coming through. So, Monique asked, "What's the best way to learn options trading?" And options is on a whole nother level for my beginners. However, I will say this is really important. Before you trade options, I really encourage you to learn how to trade stocks.
Okay.
I see a lot of beginners that run straight into options because they hear that's where the money is. And I do trade options. I love options. But guys, options is the hardest thing to learn in stocks. I mean, in investing. So practice first with stocks, do these baby steps we're telling you, do your savings, get your indexes, then start the stocks, then you can go to options. So
Okay.
just wanted to put that out there. Okay, for the beginner investor with $1,000, what? So in the challenge, we're going to talk to you about those indexes I was telling you about. So let me just give you an example. One of them is the S&P 500. It's the top 500 companies. You have to then find an exchange traded fund. And if you're listening to me now and you're like, womp, 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 that's why you should come to the class. But you then to trade the S&P, you have to find an exchange traded fund. One that I like a lot is called SPY. That's the
Mhm.
ticker symbol. It costs about $500. So if you have $1,000, you would be able to buy 2 shares of that, and
Mhm.
then you would be able to let it ride as it grows. So for example, if you had bought one in January, they were 400, I think I calculated earlier. If you had bought a share of the SPY in January, it was $472.
Mhm.
You would have bought 2 of them with your $1,000. Now they've gone up. They've gone up about $40 per share. So now
Mm.
your 2 stocks would each be worth $513. So you would have made $80 just by buying those
Mm.
2 shares. So that's what you would do if you had $1,000. You'd buy a couple shares of the S&P and then let those run. And then if you need it, I'm teaching you how to sell it.
Mm.
$80, that's a lot. I can go grocery shopping. We just talked about you can get a massage, all the
Mhm.
things. So if you need to, so you could sell that and then get your money out if you need it for something, or let it run. That
Ooh, there's
makes
some questions
sense?
about, yeah, and so Kid, there's some questions about the actual class. So the challenge, she said, Candace wants to know, are you gonna teach how to read the market and when to enter and exit a trade?
No, we're not going to teach. Well, we'll teach the market, but we won't teach how to enter and exit because that's charting. The way that I decide when to enter and exit a stock is I look at their chart, which is the stock price in the past, and then we look at formations and candlesticks to find out when to get in and out. You
Mhm.
find those in the bigger trade and travel course.
Mhm.
And secret, there's actually going to be some really cool things and bonuses at the end of the challenge for the bigger trade and travel. So I would be in the building if you've been saving up for that. But that's like a bit higher level than where we are in the beginners.
Yeah. It's good to start because for me, what I like is so day one, just so you know, Teri's teaching all about the first 2 days is education. Day one, all about the stock market. You might be like, oh, I know. Girl, you don't. You don't, right? Day
Yes.
two, right? Day two, because some of you are like ETF, mutual fund, FPY. Girl, that's day one. Day two, we're gonna learn all about the indexes. So, like, these are the more I hate to use the word stable, but the less risky than like options trading or investing in individual stocks. You're gonna learn all about see how funny I'm already learning from Teri. This is
I
what
see you. I'm like, yes.
this is my glasses since I'm a teacher or whatever. You know my fake glasses. See, let me I had forgot. Okay, so day two, whatever, y'all gonna learn all about like ETFs and like the indexes or whatever. The indexes, from what I remember from Teri had taught me, is that like basically like that you've heard of, like we've all heard of like the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? So that basically is like collection of businesses that are like their stocks are on like are trading in this like before it used to literally be a marketplace, like a physical marketplace, right? And so an index will do what those collective businesses do. Right, Teri?
Yes, look at you. And like
See?
I had been trading, I legit have been trading for like 10 years and never knew that the Dow Jones had 30 companies in it. I thought that because everybody talks about the Dow. When you see something online or the news, they say, well, the Dow Jones did this. So I was thinking like it must have a million companies. Girl, it has 30 stocks. So like there's things like that you're gonna learn because you just don't know until somebody tells you.
And that's day two. And day three, so I told you day 1 and 2, all about the education here. If you know it, still take your notes. Day 3 is you actually physically get to do stuff. This is when you're going to learn about opening up a brokerage account. Like you can't buy and sell, from your house. You know what I mean? You actually have to have like an account where you're going to be buying and selling, or purchasing whatever investments you're going to purchase. So you're going to learn about what's the best brokerage account. And then also you get the opportunity to open one, based upon like what you learned with Teri. Because I see some of you asking, which is the best one? She's going to walk through like, this is what you should look for. That's day 3. Day 4, we get to buy our first stock. And look at us. We invested. Look at so that's day 4. So even if you don't have the money, honey, it's okay because you can do the simulator and you can still buy along with the rest of us. Remember that? I don't know, Teri, because I'm a little older than you, girl. But we used to have the Scholastic Book Fair and we didn't have no money for it. And so if you didn't have the money, you had to just wait in the classroom while the other kids had to go and go to the fun book fair and buy it. We're not doing that. Even if you don't have money for the book fair,
you get to do it too.
You get to come to with the paper money. That's day 4. Yes. Day 5 is you get to sell that investment, that ETF. And so you get so this is really, I mean, some of you are not beginners and that's okay. This might not be for you. You might be ready for the next level for Teri, but the reason why I brought Teri on for this in particular is so many people have not even started because of that fear. We're going to teach the fundamental basics so you are ready, because Teri this is not a one-off. This is an introduction, so that way we can work with Teri for the rest of the year. For now what? Now we feel good. Now we're not beginners. Now we have the fundamentals. Now what, Teri? And so like you see me already. I'm an expert. You see how I do that? Take my glasses off.
You learning, girl. You learning.
Okay.
And I will say, Tiffany, you said even if you've traded before, like this may not be for you. And I would disagree with that or just have a different opinion.
Okay.
Even if you've traded before, I think this is for you. Okay. Because what I have learned is that even after all my time investing, I'm still learning. Okay. Like I've done this challenge before, but I did it 2 years ago. So as I'm preparing the slides and re-going over stuff, I'm like, oh, I got to talk about this and I got to talk about that. There's going to be so much new information. Like back in the day, there was TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab. Now they're one company. So you don't have that anymore. Yes. Back in the day, you had fees for certain things. Now the fees are gone. So there's so many things that have changed, and it's just good to be back up to date. I think this is for everybody.
Okay,
And
good.
then we added, oh, sorry, go ahead. I was going to
No,
say,
no, no, no,
and
no. Go ahead. No, go then.
then we added the guest speakers. I
Yeah.
think everybody who's an investor should come and hear that too, because trading is more mental. It's
Mm-hmm.
really just, like we said, getting over your fears, pressing the
Mm-hmm.
button, having patience, being disciplined. Like all those things come into play. Those things, you're going to need some motivation. You need to hear the guest speakers. And these are like award win. I mean, clearly, Tiffany's here, like national New York Times bestsellers, like great mentor teachers to speak to you about the mental side of investing. So
Mm.
no matter where you are in your investing journey, I think you should be in the room, especially for, it's like $97. It's cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, but still, I
For
know
what
cheap
you
is
get,
relative.
like you said, if you had been in the market and you had 2 shares of the SPY ETF, you would have your $97. So it literally cost you not to know. It
Yes.
cost you not to know. Like if you didn't have your $1,000 in, you lost the $100. What else are you going to lose if the bear market continues? Not the bear market, the bull market
Bull
continues.
market.
You know. And so, what else
Yeah.
are you going to lose? So, Ursula, it leads us to Ursula's question. She said, "How do you overcome the fear of losing money, though?"
How do you overcome the fear? So I've been trying to put myself back into the position of when I first started investing. I first started in 2010.
Mm,
So the whole market had crashed, but I knew that because things had come down so much, this had to be a good time to get started. But if you can imagine, like we literally had just had the housing crash, the markets
mm,
had fallen. So it felt like I was going against the grain to actually start investing then, right?
mm,
At this same time, I lived in Chicago at the time. All the houses around me had started dropping in prices. So like foreclosures were going on like crazy. Everybody was getting money for their houses because they were trying to stay in them and not get booted out, right?
mhm,
So when I first started, we were in a real crisis for real. So now, 14 years later, like, yes, we've gone through some things. We've had COVID come along and we've had some different things come into the market. But honestly, over that same period of time, the markets just kept going up and up and up.
okay.
So it would be an opportunity cost. Like, I would definitely lose if I hadn't gotten started. So I think that's how, for me, thinking about the fact that I would have lost out if I didn't get started earlier helps
Mhm,
me not to have fear now of just, just start. You got to start somewhere. If I don't start now and I wait some more time, then I'm going to miss out on what I could have done
mhm.
now.
And I'll say this, that one of the best ways to get rid of fear, this is just a general, not just for investing, right? That when I was afraid, I still get nervous to talk on stage, but when I am like, I used to be afraid to talk on stage or afraid to be on TV. And I realized that the more I prepared, the less I was afraid. Nervous is fine.
Mm.
You don't want to be overconfident in anything. Nervous is fine, but fearful, I'm not nearly as fearful because I felt prepared. So the more like if you ever see me at a speaking engagement, you'll see me talking to myself in my paper like I'm literally practicing my jokes. People are like, is she crazy? I'm like, yes. Don't talk to me. I'm busy. So I will literally go through it because I know the more I can do it, the more I can practice. When it's showtime synergy, some of y'all too young, Gem and the holograms. When it's showtime synergy, then I'm like, okay, I am still a little nervous, but I feel like I've done the preparation work. And one of the best ways to do preparation work that I have found for myself, that is when I want to learn something new, I get clear on what I want to learn, and then I look for the best teacher and guide out there. Because it's like, one, I know if this person has done it and they're able to explain it to me, it's not that I might not make any mistakes, but like not nearly as many because I have an amazing guide who has done the thing. Like I said before, Teri has taught over 35,000 students. Some of them have made $1,000 in a day, some $10,000 in a day. And Teri herself, she's all humble and stuff. Not me, though. Teri herself has made $1 million. Like I remember I was like, so you started with 900,000 and you made $1 million trade in one day? No, she started with 300,000 and turned that $300,000 into $1 million with one trade. That's why I say I look for the best of the best. And then I say, show me, guide me, because although it doesn't mean I won't make mistakes, with your guidance, it will minimize the mistakes. And so it helps you lower fear. Preparation and having help and guidance will help you lower your fear.
Agree. Agree. There's some, and there's drop the mic. There's like nothing else to say on that. It's so true. It's like answer to the question: to get over fear, get prepared,
Yes.
learn as much as you can, and then take the step.
Yeah. So Ruth said she came late. What's the format? Ruth is 5 days, and we never did say that, but in the evening for Teri's her class in the evening, it's evening from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those 5 days. So you have to ask yourself. I was asking myself this. I do a lot of mirror work. Like this is where's my fake little mirror? I don't have it here. Oh, the cleaning lady said put it up. I see my team got to them. Daggone it. Where's my magnifying glass? See, they know I'll be cutting up in here. Anyway, I don't need it. We're gonna do this. Hey, mirror. See, they thought the thing about me is I'm crafty. Hey, mirror, I do mirror work, and I ask myself, like, because your girl don't put on 15 pounds, whatever, it happens. And I said, Tiffany, are you committed to eating food that actually makes you feel good? Can like we do that? Like, I'm not talking about weight loss, whatever. Are you committed? Because last night I had cookies and cupcakes. Are you committed to eating food that makes you feel good? And I woke up feeling terrible. And so that's the question you have to ask yourself. For your own sake, are you committed to say, I'm going to give myself 5 days, 2 hours for 5 days to learn something that can potentially change the trajectory of my life? Am I committed to doing that? For me, not for anybody else, for me. And I've decided for me that I'm committed to those 5 days because if I can't do that for me, then what can I do? You
I
know?
saw I saw an Instagram post and it said you gave 8 hours to somebody else, so you can't
Yes,
give 2 hours to yourself.
yes,
Like,
yes.
ooh,
So
okay.
8 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't join the live, there is a VIP option that you could upgrade to where you can get the replays after. So if you're just
Mhm.
like even if like so I'm someone who like I'm like a notebook girly, y'all know that. But then afterwards, what happens is that I like to watch again. So you get to watch the replays again and take deeper notes. And so yes, if you upgrade to the VIP option, and the reason why you see Budgetnista stock bonuses, that's how you sign up is because I am so committed that I not only do I want to become an investor, I want to be the investornista, if you will, is that I actually added some bonuses on top of Teri's bonuses. So if you join, so I like literally was like, no, I'm so invested in this that I'm like, if you do the 5 day, just the bare bones, it's $97, 5 days. I'm giving you an ebook that I created, a free ebook that I created just for this. If you do the VIP, I'm giving you 2 ebooks I created, one about investing, one about learning to earn. I'm also going to do a learn to earn class for you for free, like a live class. And I'm also going to give you, oh, what was it? It was the 2 ebooks, the class. I'm also going to do a Facebook group for those 5 days. We're going to have a group where we're learning together. Like me and you will be in there. And because I'm actually flying to South Carolina where Teri's going to be. And so we're going to be like, everybody don't have behind the scenes access like your girl Tiffany. So I'm gonna be in there with my phone, like Teri, not to bother you while you're in the kitchen, but because we're gonna be at Airbnb. The girls are online live. Answering
They got a
questions.
question. I'm gonna say, let me eat. Come tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
And so I'm just really excited. So there's a bunch of bonuses that I add onto the VIP. So people keep asking about stuff like Forex. Like, what are your thoughts on Forex? Honestly, Terry, 'cause I see that came up a lot.
I don't trade Forex. I only
Okay.
trade stocks and options. However, I think every asset class has its perks, right?
Okay.
Forex is trading currencies. So for example, the difference between the Japanese yen
Mhm,
and the American dollar, there's an exchange rate. And I see
mhm.
it as a traveler all the time. Like if I have to change my money, like say we just went to Dubai. I don't think they had a different dollar. We think we could use American dollars, but
I think so too. Hmm.
we like some pick a country, y'all, in the comments. Pick a country. Say we go to England, we'll do the euro. You go
Hmm.
to England, then and in England the euro, there's
I think so.
they I always get confused because
Oh,
there's two,
pound.
the
Yeah.
pound. Okay,
Hmm.
so, y'all, so it's late at night. So let's just say we go somewhere and we have to change our money to the euro. That's why I don't trade Forex. But we change our money to the euro and there's an exchange rate there. And then you come back to the United States and you change your money back into US dollars. And
Hmm.
because of the exchange rates, you actually make a little bit when you do the exchange back. That's what Forex is. And it's a cool concept. The cool thing about it as an asset class is because you can trade whenever. It's open 24 hours. So a lot of people who are busy in the daytime, they like trading Forex. I personally love companies. So I like to see that Disney has something going on with their board of directors, and Chipotle is doing a stock split, and Meta is doing a dividend thing. Like I enjoy that. So I prefer what we call equities. So stocks and options. I just like the company, so I prefer that. But some people also like futures. Futures is an asset class where you trade commodities like corn and soybeans. And they like that because you actually can do leverages. Like you can say, I'm going to, trade something and it moves 1 point. I might make $12 for every point that it moves. That's futures. So it's just all these different ways to invest, but they're all called different asset classes. I just like stocks and options.
And so see, like this is the thing about like why the educational piece is so important when it's time to learn how to invest, because you can get so overwhelmed or so in the weeds. And so having a guide so you're prepared, and then you can just decide where you want to be, like where you want your expertise to be in.
Yes.
I'm just looking at some other
And you don't
questions.
have to do all the things. Like, I think that's another thing that gets people overwhelmed with investing. They want to follow 50 million companies, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to invest because it's too overwhelming. You could actually trade with one stock and just follow that one company and be good. Like, you can make it as hard or as easy as you'd like. We choose easy,
Yes.
but it doesn't have to be overwhelming.
So Teri, what's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're first starting to invest in the market that we can avoid?
I think biggest mistake is trading without knowing the news. I have a lot of people who will hear somebody just randomly say a stock. So then they go to their account, they put that stock in and buy it with no.
just call me out, girl. I'm like, what, Chad? Let me go ahead and
Buy some of this. Let me just see. Then you check back because the same person never checks their portfolio either. So you check 3-4 months later, and
oh
you're
my
like, let me
God.
see how it's doing. Oh, it done went down. Man, you didn't do no kind of research.
Oh my God.
No news.
Girl, that is me. Don't let somebody post it on it. I'm like, oh, what's that? Let me just go ahead and get. And it's in my Robinhood account. I check that thing like 3 times a year. I'm like, oh, lost some more money. That's why I'm sick of this. This got to be a better way.
See,
Yes.
no. One, there are better ways to choose companies. And
Yes.
then two, this is a rule that I personally had to make for myself. Before I place the trade, I have to go look at CNBC and see
Okay.
what is happening in the overall market. So, for example, the market is divided into quarters.
Okay.
Every 3 months, companies report how they're doing, and then they tell us in the market, and then their stocks move a little bit. So one thing that's happened to me in the past is I've invested in a company not knowing that they were about to report their earnings. And then come to find out the next day they reported and said something crazy like, for the next 3 months, we're not making any money. Just crazy, right? And of course, my stock went down. But I would have known that if I had been paying attention. So a personal rule for me is I go and I look at what's happening in the market before I actually place my trade.
Okay.
But that's something that I think a lot of beginners don't realize how
Yes.
important it is to actually pay attention.
Look, see, look, I'm about to be smart again. Let me put my glasses on. Oh, look at me. Like Weight Watchers and Oprah and Ozempic, right?
Yes, yeah, that moved the stock.
So like, can you tell me that? Because that's all I know. Can you tell the girls what I'm talking about?
So, okay, so there's a stock that, well, you guys kind of know, right? So Oprah she used to be a big part of Weight Watchers. And so she really was a part of that company. But then when she announced that she was using medicine to lose weight, it impacted the company because they were like, wait, are you doing Weight Watchers, or are you using this medicine over here? So that's the kind of thing that would impact the stocks on both sides, both companies. Little earpiece came out.
No, but that's really right. So like that you might have jumped into Weight Watch like, oh, the price is low, but not knowing why the price is low. It's like, so that was like, I mean, obviously that's a more obvious one because we all have been here about Ozempic and stuff, but Lord knows that I've made those kind of decisions. And I'm like, no, I want I want to invest from a place of like knowledge, knowing, and due diligence, you know?
Yes. You
Yes.
know what one of the biggest myths is, and I hear people say it all the time, and I'm like, that actually is not true.
Mhm.
People will tell you to, and sorry if you've said this, Tiffany, but
I'll be
people
wrong. I'll be wrong.
people will tell you invest in what you know.
Okay.
And they'll say, oh, just look at everything in your house and then just invest in those things. Y'all, I would tell you that some of the things that you use all the time may not be a healthy company as a stock.
Mm.
So, for example, I used to ride a Ford car. I had a Ford Focus for the longest. Like the handle broke off the door, and I had to reach inside the window in order to open the door up. Like I drove it till it fell apart. But the stock of Ford was not doing well at all.
Mhm.
So I could have said, well, because I've had a Ford and I enjoyed it, let me buy the stock. I would have lost money.
Mm.
So it's important to also look at the company and be able to look at their stock. For me, I look at charts, look at their stock chart, be able to have some kind of analysis before you invest in the company. See the health of the company. That's that earnings reports I was telling you about. What does
Mm.
the company say about how they're doing?
Okay.
That's important. And I
Somebody asked it.
know,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
I was
No,
gonna
no,
say,
you
I
go.
know somebody's gonna say, well, Terry, I don't have time for that. I don't
Mm.
have time to look at all the stuff going on. I would say one hack, little life hack, is in the CNBC app on your phone, you can actually build a watch list with the companies that you're looking at, and they will give you little snippets. And those articles are
Mm.
usually super, super short, but anytime something comes up about your company, it'll pop up in your notifications. I think
Mm.
at least start there. Like look at something before you place the trade.
Ooh, that's a good hack. My mentor.
I love this stuff. It's just so fun.
So I know you're not teaching REITs in like the in this, right? But can you explain what a REIT is? REIT, just so for the girls so they know what is a REIT.
Yes. And we did a class recently with another influencer. I'll have to like talk to Tiffany to see if she wants to introduce that influencer. But REITs are really cool. Like I
Mm.
learned about them recently too. I'm always learning, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Mm.
So REITs are, say for example, you know how Amazon has to store all of the equipment that they use, like all of the hardware to keep all of our data. They
Mhm.
have to have tons and tons of real estate for that. And
Mm.
they buy real estate like all over the country just to house their software. Those buildings are held and owned by a company.
Okay.
That company is available online, I mean on the stock market, but
Mm.
they actually will release themselves as a REIT. And a REIT is they will have all their profits, but they actually are not allowed to make money, so all their profits have to go as dividends to the
Wow.
people who own the REIT.
Okay.
So they have a determined like cadence, maybe like once a quarter, some of them even
Mm.
are once a month. They'll actually pay you a little bit to hold their REIT, their stock. So that's kind of like the underlying of what's happening. They, in order
Oh.
to like not have to pay some fees that they got to do, they actually have to pay out the investors that are investing in it. And so that's how you make money on a regular basis holding a REIT. And they're real estate, exchange, something trust. Again, I know what I'm good at. I'm good at stocks and options, but I also know a little bit about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they are pretty cool. And the cool thing about, so random side notes, cool thing about REITs right now is a lot of commercial buildings after COVID didn't have tenants in them.
Mm.
And so a lot of the REITs actually started going down in price because, they were losing money. They didn't have anybody, in them. So a lot of REITs actually, to own the REIT itself is going down in price. And
Mm.
then you're getting paid to just hold it. So every quarter or every few months, you're getting a little bit of money just to hold that REIT.
Mm.
So they're pretty cool too.
Oh, see, I told y'all she's smart. Oh, look at this. Coco Love 727 said, I joined Terry's program in 2021 and it has been worth every dime. I've learned so much. The stock market is no longer intimidating at all. Highly recommend her programs. And look at that. Coco Love, your check
Yay!
is coming in the mail. Just joking. I don't know who Coco Love is. I don't know who Coco Love is.
She probably getting her check from the market.
Exactly.
She's
So
like,
like
I'm good, thanks.
so Budgetnista stock bonuses. If you've signed up for Teri's course via the reason why I'm giving you Budgetnista stock bonuses is because I put a little stank on her course by giving you some free stuff for me. Because I want to encourage us to all do this together. So Budgetnista stock bonuses. If you've signed up, let me know in the comments. I'll shout you out. Let's see some more questions about investing.
Let's talk about
Yes.
let's talk about these online brokers.
Okay.
Because I see a lot of questions in here about like, well, can we do this one? Can we do that one? And
Mhm.
actually my goal is that on the day that we talk about online brokers, I'm gonna give you guys 3 or 4 options and we'll just talk about pros and cons and things that you should look for. Because honestly, I think many of the online brokers are all good.
Okay.
So there's not one versus the other that I would recommend for you. I think really it's going to be what fits your style. Honestly, many of my students like TD Ameritrade. I've traded with TradeStation. Some of them still like interactive brokers. You know, there's all different ones. So I'll give you what to look for as you're checking the broker that you have. If you already have one, or if you don't have one, I'll say, okay, here's some good ones. So I'm seeing in here like Marcus from Goldman Sachs. That one is really great. And one thing I like about Marcus from Goldman Sachs is that they have a really nice interest rate for money sitting in the account. So we were talking about those high yield savings accounts. If you have a brokerage account, oftentimes the brokerage account will pay you those high interest rates, even if the money's just sitting in there. And Marcus is a good example of that. TD Ameritrade, which now is Charles Schwab. Anytime you have a big conglomerate buy another company, all they do is get stronger. So now they've gotten the trading aspect of TD Ameritrade along with the like long-standing wealth building of Charles Schwab. It's really cool to see how they're integrating. It took a minute though, I will say. Like anytime you're bringing a company together, you got to have transition a little bit, but they're turning out to be a really great component for traders. The Robinhood app, Lynette is asking about them. Robinhood, back in the day, Robinhood had a freeze where people couldn't get their money out of certain trades. But I will tell you, they've been quiet lately. And anytime a company is quiet, I think they're building some stuff. So I wouldn't sleep on them. If you have a Robinhood account, you might start seeing new things come up that they are trying to improve their platform. But it's not usually the one that I encourage for active investors because we need really strong charting. We need really strong, like fast data. So oftentimes we will choose one of the bigger banks. But if you're getting started and you have a Robinhood app, don't close it. Like we'll still work with that. Trying to see if I see any other brokers in here that people have
Fidelity. I
asked
think so.
about.
Did you ask Fidelity? Okay.
I didn't talk about Fidelity, but actually they were awarded back in 2022. So it's a little while back. There was a list of best brokers, best online brokers, and they actually were number 1. Now I haven't used them as much, but I will say that many companies use them for their retirement. So if you already have a retirement sitting somewhere and you're thinking, okay, you know, I moved jobs and I just want to self-direct my retirement, Teri, what do? You could potentially keep it at Fidelity, move it into a self-directed IRA, and then the things I'm teaching you, you can do that in that account. So Fidelity may be a good place to keep holding it because your other retirement is there, right?
Okay. Well, I see some people like, okay, D, welcome. She signed up. Vanessa signed up. Jackie signed up. I told you I was going to shout you out. Let's see what other questions. Oh, G signed up. Oh, Carolyn. Oh, Vicky. Woo, okay. So Janet wants to know, do you teach puts and calls? So I know you do, right? Or you don't?
I do in trade and travel. Yes. We teach stocks and options in the bigger trade and travel course, and we teach puts and calls.
Okay. Can you explain what a
this 5 days we're not gonna
because the 5 days, remember, it's like the entry into the fundamentals of investing, right? And so, but Teri, so for me, this is the beginning part of my journey. I'm going to get my fundamentals, like we dribbling the ball, just drills, right? And then it's like, okay, we show it. And then you gonna see me outside on the court. You're gonna call me MJ in his prime, okay?
She said, shit.
I'll play those sports. Oh, I see Jay Rich signed up. Remember, budgeting the stock bonuses. The link is
Yeah,
below because I want to add my bonuses onto what Terry's already giving you. Oh, Nakia, she signed up. So okay,
I'm not
when
too
will you
bad.
guys receive your bonuses? So the 5-day masterclass starts April 15th, 2024. So on April 15th, I'm going to email you because I want to make sure I could just do one email chat, not the individuals. I'm gonna email you any because the way it is when you sign up, that's why I'm giving you my link. Because when you sign up, Terry says, "Oh, Tiffany, here's a list of people that signed up with your link. Go ahead and send them the bonuses that you promised." So we're gonna send them to everybody on the 15th. And because by then we'll have closed doors. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, can you explain what is a put in a call? Because honestly, I don't know what that is. Like, what is that? Just so the people can know.
Yes. Ooh. Okay. I options. Hold on. Let me just pat my nose because I get too excited. I'm getting too excited. Okay. So options is what I have been like trading to make a lot of my big wins. So the $1 million Amazon, or lately I've had $1 million Disney trade. All of those have been with options. So a basically what's happening is back in the day, I have to tell you the story to make it make sense. But back in the day, there was this guy who used to make bets, and he would bet against people on where their stock would go. So, say for example, Tiffany, you really liked Facebook stock or Meta stock.
Mhm.
I would bet you, like, I bet it doesn't get to $550 by the end of the week. And you would say, no, I love Meta. It's going to get to 550. And I would say, put some money on it. I bet you $10 that it's not going to get to 550 by the end of the week. And so we would have this bet. And by the end of the week, oftentimes he would be right. So we would write, like, say we had this bet, we'd write up a contract and it'd be like, okay, well, Tiffany says that she's going to pay me $10 if it does not get to 550 by the end of the week. And then at the end of the week, we'd look at the contract, and if it happened, if it reached 550, I'd give you $10. And if it didn't, then you'd have to give me $10. That's what's happening in options. We're literally selling contracts. So I'll have a contract. A call contract means that I think the stock is going to go up. So that's a call. A put contract is that I think the stock is going to go down.
Okay.
So that's what they are. It's just saying, like, I bet this will happen by a certain time.
Okay. Ooh, I love the way this is why you get an educator to teach you how to do something. Okay. Right? Okay, Roro said she signed up. Hey, Roro. Ooh, I love this. Rhonda said, I signed up because of this session tonight. I'm going to sign up my 2 daughters. Bring them. Bring them. Yes.
Bring the family, because everybody needs this. We actually, like, shout out to Mass Mutual. They bought tickets for 100 HBCU students to come to the challenge. So I say that just because, like, if you know some students in college, sign them up, gift this to them, because can you imagine the difference it would make if you had known back in college what was going to happen, like how to trade?
Girl, I wouldn't be here. I'm sorry. Y'all would not see me. I'd be on my private island, honey.
Girl, at least no. So here's the, like, real talk, because sometimes I think, like, we think like, oh, I would be a billionaire. No, real talk. If I had invested sooner, and I actually did, I interned on Wall Street in college, but I still didn't invest for myself. You know, sometimes you learn all the things for someone else and in a job, but you don't know how to do it for yourself. If I had invested in college, then I would have made better decisions about the jobs that I took later in life. Like, there's a lot of jobs that I took pay cuts. I did certain things because I felt like, well, I have to. There's no other option. But if I had had some extra cushion in my life from those investments in college, then I feel like I would have been able to say, you know what? I actually am not passionate about this right now. I'm not going to take this job. Or I would have gave myself a little bit more grace. Like, you know, maybe I'm going to actually go back to school and not be, worried that I'll go broke. Just so many decisions you could have made because of real love or passion versus the have to. I have to do this.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Want to versus have to. You get your money is a tool, is one of the tools you can use to have a want to life, not a have to life.
Yes.
And so they say that the best time to have done it, to start investing, was when you're young. The second best time is now.
Mhm.
So you think, oh, it's too late. You alive, right? You watching? Okay, girl.
It's time. Yeah.
Yes. Talia says she joined. Hey, welcome, Talia.
Hey.
Let me
See you
see.
inside.
Terry. Oh, this is just a shout out for you, Terry. Sai Afia said Terry's course is an amazing course. I highly recommend it. Sometimes I walk away from her course and listen to YouTube's, and every time I do that, I lose a lot and my morale gets very low. So basically, meaning like listening to other people who might not teach in a way that is encouraging and edifying. And so,
Yeah.
yes, I love that. I love that for you, Sai.
Me too. Thanks for
Let me,
sharing. Because
yes.
there are a lot of voices, and people will say, like, isn't this information just available on YouTube? And
Mm,
it is. However, there is such a benefit to someone packaging it all
yes.
together in one easy to understand way.
Yes.
Because there are so many things
So many.
on the internet. And then people, like, one person might invest this way, another person
Yes.
invests this way. It's also nice to have one teacher
Yeah.
teach you their whole
Yeah.
strategy, get good at that before you go to the next thing.
It's true. Sai just said she just followed up. She's Sile, I guess it is. But when I get back to studying her course, I start making money again, and that's magical. Child.
Oh,
Okay. Let me see. Let me
yay.
see. Um. Oh. Tendi. She said if I already bought the challenge, the course, right? Can I still upgrade? I
Yes, you
believe
can.
so. Yes.
Hmm.
So if you go to Budgetista stock bonuses, I think I don't know how that works. Like an individual upgrade. Uh.
We go ahead. I was gonna say, if you have a question, is there a email that they can email
I
you?
believe so. Let me see if there's a contact like I'm just scrolling down at the bottom. If there's like a contact us. Connect with me, book me. Yes. So if you scroll to the bottom of the Budgetista stockbonuses.com, there's a contact me and just share, and we can give you the link for the upgrade. Oh, look at
Yeah.
Beverly. The girls is loving you. I took Terry's course as well. I came to Texas last year for the conference because Terry be having conferences, and I'm still friends with the ladies there. I met at the convention. The conference was everything, and Terry is so nice. Well, duh, girl, because I be messing with
Yay.
me, girls. Beverly, yes, I love that.
That's so cool.
Um,
Hey, Beverly.
right?
We
Um,
so real talk, y'all. I usually I usually show up once a year because Tiffany and I have talked about, like, I don't have to do this. I want
yeah,
to do this.
yeah,
So I usually show up once a year and do something live and teach. So this is that thing. The master
yeah.
class is I'm gonna give you everything I got and show up. But last year we did a live in Dallas, and it was so sweet to, like, see. I think we had over 500 people come, and we taught the
Mhm.
whole trade and travel course live. So yeah,
I'm about to
we
put Terry
do
business out there
this.
just a little bit, right? Because when she's like, "Oh, come to Dallas," and then she's like, "Oh, that's my mother's house around the corner that she bought." Oh, this is my house. I said, "This your house, and that's your house too." And then a friend of ours had an event in Puerto Rico, and Terry's like, "Oh, come to my house." I said, "Another." And she's like, "Oh, this is my house," which was gorgeous. And then we were like driving, and she's like, "Oh, and that one, and that one." I'm like, oh, 1, 2, 3. What? And then Terry had bought, I think in college, didn't you buy like a place in Chicago?
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, and then this is how I knew. Just Terry, this is the story. I'm about to put whole full business out here. That's how I knew how Terry's rich. Now, y'all know I do a little acute coin with Budgetista. Mm. I said, Terry, we're going to this mastermind with our friend in Dubai to talk about like how to build our businesses up. I don't want to go all the way to Dubai for 2 days. Let's do something after. Terry's like, oh, let's do something. So we decided on Zanzibar. And so we went. A friend of mine actually is from Tanzania and she lives in Zanzibar. And she said, I'll help you guys book some stuff. So she was looking at hotels and there was one really fancy hotel. One really fancy hotel. And she told me it's $2,800 a night. I said, say what? 2,800. This is my friend. I said, girl, the devil is a liar. I'm not paying that. And I said, oh, let me tell Terry as a kiki. Like, girl, let me tell you what she was trying to do. I said, girl, you better look in that $500-$600 range because that's pricey to me. So I called Terry. I said, girl, my girl is looking at hotels. I told her to keep it cute in the $500-$600 range, because that's already expensive. But do you know she found some fancy hotel talk about 2,800? Terry said, oh yeah, let's do that. I said, no. I said not $280, Terry, $2,800 a night. And we were going to stay there for 2 nights. And Terry's like, yeah. She's like, I'm really particular about my hotels. I said, did you hear the money, Teri? And she said, Tiffany, if you don't got it, don't worry, I got you. I said, oh, got it, but apparently not like you. So I'm like, okay. So I called my friend, was like, my friend said, let's go for it. She was like, okay. But I had never, that 2,800 is what I would pay for a whole trip, let alone one night in a hotel. And that's when I realized, Teri, can you teach me how to invest? What you're not gonna do is talk about, I got you, Tiffany, I got money. Just not like that. So, but for real, I thought to myself, there was a level of like I want the best for myself. And I know that this is not going to put me in financial harm's way in order to have it, that I see in Teri that I want for myself too. And I want for you too. You know, like it's one thing to get paid well at a job or to have a business and pay well. It's another thing to literally be your own bank. That's what I want for you. You know, to see Teri navigate and move, she is so humble, so quiet, so chill, but she navigates with a confidence of, I know that I can tap into myself and into like my knowledge and produce money for myself for the things that I want and need. That's a powerful thing. What would you do if you can go to the bank of yourself? Bank of Tiffany, Bank of Teri. I see Monique has signed up. Bank of Monique. Lisa says she signed up. Bank of Lisa. Candace says she signed up. She's a VIP. Bank of VIP Candace. Okay. Colette signed up, right? So what would you do? T. Johnson signed up. What would you do? Yes, you could apply from Canada. Teri says she has international students.
Yes.
You
Yes, we
know,
definitely, yep.
right?
Canada, Europe, Australia, we got you.
Yes. And so, like, what would you do if you could be like your own bank? I want that for you. You know what I mean? Like, I just really want that for you. Yeah. So if you signed up, I do a few last shout outs and just like any last thing, Teri, that you're just like, if I wish that you would have known this or something that we ought to know. If you're just like I said, this is the beginning step. Like I'm following Teri on this journey. And so I'm bringing you on. This is my fundamentals. And when there's a next step, I'll invite you to that too. And the next step, I'll invite you to that too. And you can choose to join or not join. But I know in the few years, y'all are going to be like, damn, I should have followed when Tiffany started. You should have. Okay, like Anita. Hey, Anita, I see you signed up. Welcome, girl.
Yes. You know what? I think a couple things, just thoughts as you were talking. I thought you were going to tell them about the presidential suite experience.
Oh, no.
We
Ooh, yes. I forgot. Go ahead, Teri. I forgot. Teri's fancy shot. I could be over here clutching my budget and pearls like, Tell them about the presidential suite experience.
So what happened was we went into this hotel in Zanzibar and they gave Tiffany like this beautiful room. It was clean, like it was nice, it smelled good, it looked good. I went in there because they were like, oh, we have to get your room ready. Now, mind you, as we were on our way to Tiffany's room, we walked by this room and I see somebody on a ladder in the ceiling trying to fix stuff. Clearly something was wrong with this room. So 2 hours later, they call me, and I think it was like 2, maybe an hour. Sometime later, they call us, and they're like, okay, Teri, your room is done. Sure enough, it's that room that they were trying to fix something. It was broke. We go in the room, it's water all over the walls, and just like it was not a good room. It was gross. So I talked to the people and I say, okay, I can't stay here.
Yeah.
What else do you have? And they're like, oh, we're completely booked out. We don't have anything else. I said, what about the presidential suite? And they were like, oh, but the presidential suite is something, 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 some crazy dollar. I was like, okay, I'll take that. And they were like,
no, let's pause because I'm sitting there looking like, when she said, what about the presidential suite? I was like, and then she said, when they said the amount, Teri said, yeah. I was like, who should I call? I would have been like, girl, my friend is about to get the presidential suite in this fancy. We were already at a 5-star hotel in Zanzibar. Okay. I said, oh, well, I need to see this. They were scrambling. Regular people don't get the presidential suite. So they were like, wait, what? Everybody was excited. Go ahead, Teri. Sorry, I just had to.
No, you're right. Like they were sending up people to clean the room because they were like, nobody, like rarely do we ever rent this room out. And then all the service people were coming and they were so excited to see it was a Black girl, like somebody that looked like them. They were like, oh, are you staying here? I was like, yes, it's me.
Yes.
But the reason I say that is because sometimes we settle for things in life because we have to. And I think that investing has allowed me that if I'm in a space where I feel uncomfortable, to your point of just that quiet confidence, if I'm in a space where I don't feel safe, or if I'm
Yeah.
in a space where I feel uncomfortable, or I just feel like, you know what, in this season, I want this, I can move in a different way. I can get it. But it's only because I do have that cushion investing. There was a time in my life where I couldn't. And I think that's the thing that still calls me to want to help others. Like when I was crying in the bathroom, I felt like there was no other options. When I was assistant principal, I was crying in the bathroom almost every day. But I felt like I've got to, like, there's no other option. I got to stay here. Like, how else am I going to get money? But when I started making some investing money on the side, I was doing it as a side hustle. Then I started feeling like, oh, wait, I just made the same amount that I make all day in this job. And I work 22 hours, it felt like I'm working from sun up to sundown and all the things to make everything go well. And I literally just clicked some stuff on the computer and made this same amount of money. Then I got that I wish you would. I wish you would say something crazy to me today, right?
Don't let the ministry degree fool you now.
Like, say something. You know, you walk a little different. And to tell you the truth, I do think, like, I love the school. I love they've helped so many people, but I do think that the administrators that were over me could see a change in me too. Because they used to be able to just snap their fingers and I would go scramble and try to do whatever it was. But then I got some confidence.
Yes.
And it might have actually been one of the reasons why I got in trouble so much. Because I think they were like, who does she think she is? I think I'm a woman of God. I think I'm Teri Ijeoma. I think I'm a woman with some money in the bank. That's who I think I am.
Okay.
I think you better be quiet.
That's a Baker Terry to you.
Right. I think you better, it's one of those, I think you better actually stick to my job description instead of asking me to do all the things and be all the people today.
I love
That's
that.
who I am.
I love that. And you can have that too. Yes, bye trucker. He said, hello, sisters. My wife and I don't know anything about trading. Can we sign up? Absolutely.
Yes.
Go to Budgetista Stock Bonuses and go ahead and sign up and get my additional free bonuses. You know? And so like, I mean, this has just been like, so like, I'm just seeing so many people that give us your last, because I would really love, Lexa, this is so inspiring. LaDonna, this is everything. If you've signed up, I would love for Teri to see how many people she gets to affect in this community. Just say signed up if you did already, just so she can see. AXA girl says she signed up. I'm trying to think, there's a bunch of people. Let me know in the comments. Because I always say while people are here, they should know the impact that they make. Because sometimes we're just, especially as entrepreneurs, just working at home. So if you've signed up, yes, it's going to be recorded. If you get the VIP ticket to the class, then you can get the VIP. You can get the replay. So yes, you joined. Aurora joined. Who else?
Let me know. A whole list. Jenna.
Go ahead.
Aurora, AE, Tina, Jackie's doing a happy dance.
Colette.
Lola, Mavis.
D, Melissa. Aha, Nia, child. Okay. Rhonda. Hey, look at the C Bright. G got that right. Child, some of these names. Makia. Some of y'all are hiding from the law. Logan, Andrea, Denise. I love that. Janet, Yvette. Yeah, I love, yes. Yeah, you signed up last week. Yes.
Let me actually answer this question from Miss Michelle, because I think it's a valid question. So she's like, Teri's course is $10,000. Are we really going to get enough value for $294? Because that's like the VIP price. That's and her said $297, but it's $294. And let me tell you, I actually am putting everything I got into teaching you all these 5 days. Like, I really do. Like, this is the event. Yes, if you decide to do the course later, great. But I'm not doing this because I want to upsell you into something else. And the people who came to my Trade and Travel Live last year can attest to that. At the end of the conference, they thought I was going to upsell. I was like, look, bye. I'm going on a boat. I want to be on a yacht for 10 days. I'll see y'all when I see. So it's not like, yes, we will continue to grow and I'll continue to teach you, but this is the event. I want you to come out of this 5 days knowing how to invest in the indexes, be able to place the stock, be able to sell the stock, be able to open your account and know what to look for, understand the beginning of the market. Like, it's a negotiation. Like, I want you guys to come out feeling like, no, I came in with one, like at a 1 or 2 in my knowledge, and I'm leaving with a 9 or 10. Like to me, this is the event. So yes, Michelle, you're actually going to get real knowledge and real teaching from me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yes,
And the guests too, but definitely.
and also too, yes, if you live in, I see somebody keeps asking about Canada. Yes, Teri has said that she has international students currently.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Ah, so Teri, any last piece of wisdom that you want to share with the girls before we hop off? And just thank you so much.
Of course. I just want to speak one more time to those people that feel like, oh man, the market is so intimidating. I'm so glad you're coming to do this with us as a group. I think that's going to help. The fact
Mhm.
that we're going to have thousands of people coming in and taking their first trade all at the same time. The studio that we have is huge. It's got
Mhm.
big Zoom screens on the back, so we'll see each other. So we're doing this as a community. I think that will help. So come be a part of it because you'll be like supported by all of us. So it'll be really fun.
Yeah, and just also too, like, um, so so one of you, some of you are like, I just for clarity, some of you are confusing. Teri has a big course. This is a 5-day masterclass for the fundamentals, and Teri does have a bigger. So, like for example, it's almost like you have like the Old Navy, the Gap, and the Banana Republic. Those are all the same companies. So some of you might be confusing some of her big course for what's happening in these 5 days. So yes, Teri does have a big. This is not Teri's $10,000 course, child. She's not going to give you a $10,000 course for $97. This is the fundamentals. We're gonna get started, of course, but and so we're not talking about that $10,000 course because it wouldn't be fair for me to ask Teri to do that for $97.
Mhm.
That this is a strong fundamentals. Let's get you started, or let's get you back started. Investing in the market, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're
Yes.
gonna learn a lot because
Yes. You're still
if
gonna
I
learn a lot.
show up, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm
Yeah.
Nigerian like Tiffany. If we gonna do it, we gonna do it.
Yes.
So I'm researching. I'm trying to find all the ways to make this like super fun and
Yes.
interesting.
So
It's
you
gonna
still
be
get a lot, but I just wanted to clarify that,
yeah.
like, because sometimes, and I just want us as a community, as a people, that sometimes we're wanting, like, hey, you know that thing that you charge $10,000 or whatever for? Hey, Tiffany, I know I've been spoiling y'all, and we about to change that because you about to see some change around here. Because we can't stay in business if I give you the thing that cost me $5,000 to produce and give it to you for $2, or y'all be asking for everything for free. And I'm like, so then when the budget goes out of business, who will teach you? You will have to find somebody else, and then you milk them until they go out of business. Then who will teach you then? And so we have to practice, like, knowing that sometimes things cost. I will always try my best to make it as cost effective as possible. I will always try my best to find an entry level, like this is what this is, but know that there's going to be return. If you're never willing to invest in yourself, you're not going to get back to anything. Like I am slowly but sure. I mean, I invest in myself a lot. I read a lot of books. I take a lot of classes. I have coaches. I have a therapist. The reason why I've been able to make like nearly over $50 million in business since I started the Budgetnista is because I've invested in myself. I hope you understand that. Like, right? I've invested in myself. And so you don't get to say, oh, I want to make $1 million, but I don't want to spend $2. It's like, okay,
Right.
you don't have to. But then when you look around 5 years from now, you're like, why am I in the same spot? The question is, are you investing in yourself? I am constantly investing in myself. And I do a lot of vetting. I think that's the part that people are afraid of. I do a lot of vetting to find where's the best place to place my investment. And I have chosen Teri for myself, and so I brought her here as a guest to you because here's the thing, I'm gonna get richer because Teri was teaching me either way. She just told me she had this 5-day challenge. I said, oh, cute for that, coach, as long as we still coaching.
Yes.
And so like, I just want to remind us of that like, that I'm not just talking about Teri, I'm talking about in anything that you do, ask yourself. I was just literally telling this to my team. They'll attest because they're in here. I was telling them that, like, if I can tell when somebody's going to reach excellence in whatever they do because they do their own personal continued education. I can tell when I talk to my friends are going to do well. Like, girl, I was just listening to this podcast. I was just reading this book. I know because I'm like, look at this person doing additional work for themselves. You know what I mean? And so you should practice that across the board, whether it's you want to get your skin together, you want to get your nails right, you want your hair to be longer, you want to get fit, you want to make money, you want to start a business, you want to up it, upgrade at work, whatever it is. If you are not investing in continued education for yourself, whatever it is that you want to elevate, then expect to stay exactly where you are. I am constantly learning, constantly. Like when you watch me in 5 years, I'm never the same Tiffany from the year before. Never, because I am willing to invest in myself. So I'm not, like I said, I'm putting Teri aside. I'm just talking about in general. Like my
Yeah.
skin, I'm 44 years old. Look at this skin. You think it's accidental? This is because I invested in figuring out literally for months. I was like, there's got to be a better way to get my skin together. Girl, like this hair, this all me. This ain't Hawaiian silky. Okay. It took me a long time to figure out what's the healthiest way to wear my hair. Literally in all areas of my life, I find a guide. I do the work. Sometimes it costs, and then I put it into action and practice, and then I reap the benefits. So all ways that you see me show up in excellence is not accidental. Continued education. And for this I'm doing, yes, I'm doing for you, but quite honestly, this is probably one of the most this is one of the rare occasions where honestly I wasn't thinking about y'all at first. I really wanted this for myself because I have not invested in myself when it comes to this. So I sought Teri out for me. And I'm sharing her with you because I was like, let me not be greedy or whatever. But honestly, I am ready. I'm like, Tiffany, you're not a master investor because you have not put in the work. And I know that I haven't, but I'm going to now. And so if you'd like to join me, I would love that. But either way, your girl is going to be able to be like, presidential suite. It's going to be nothing. I'm going to be just like that. I'm about to be presidential suite. Tiffany, you're going to have to call me like that.
And real quick before we jump off, I do want, it seems like some people are still confused on like what we will offer. So let me just one more
Yes.
time
Yes.
go through the 5 days. So starting Monday, April 15th, you're going to come on and you're first going to get me. I'm going to be teaching the overview of the stock market, and then you'll hear from a guest speaker, Anthony O'Neill. If you guys are on YouTube, shout out if y'all follow him as well. Great money teacher, New York Times bestseller, just great man of God. And he's going to be teaching us. All of the guest speakers are talking about the mindset piece, and I'm talking about the technical piece, right? So he's going to come in and he's going to talk to us about getting over our fear. And I even told him to preach a little bit. What does God say about money? Because sometimes we can be hesitant about that too. Next day, I'll talk about the indexes, so the S&P 500, and then you can't just invest in an index by itself. You have to use something called an exchange traded fund. So we'll walk through what those are. And then I'll teach first, and then after me will be Robert Hartwell. And he's going to come on, y'all, he's a executive producer of TV shows on HGTV and the OWN network, but he's going to come in and talk to us about his story of going from Broadway and having to pivot and do something different, so that we can just think about how important it is to get these new skills, because investing is a new skill set, right? But how it can change your life even in a new skill set. Then that next day, we'll talk about opening a brokerage account. So now it's Wednesday. I'm going to teach opening a brokerage account, and then you'll have Rachel Rogers. She's the author of We Should All Be Millionaires. She's going to come on and she's going to expand our mindset to show why we should actually be open to having more money. Why should we all be millionaires? Why should we be open to having this higher level? Because oftentimes we can get real limited thinking that I don't need any extra money. It's all right. I don't need it, so I don't need to have it. But it's better to have money that you don't need than need money that you don't have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Rachel will come in and speak. That next day, I'm coming in and we've done all the steps. We know the market. We looked at the indexes and the ETFs. We opened an account. Now we can actually place the trade. So we'll actually go through the buttons, go through all the steps of placing a trade. And then that's when yours truly, Tiffany the Budgetnista, will come on as the guest speaker after me. And she's going to talk to what's beyond the budget. Like so far, we've just been doing budgets, but then so many of you all have started growing. You've done the steps, you've done the budget, you've got some money set aside. Now, what do you do with it? And how do you get over that fear to actually step out from being just needing a budget to now being flush with actually more than enough, right? What do you do with that? And then the last day, we're actually going to sell the trade. I'm going to teach you how do you sell that stock that we just bought. So many folks will say buy and hold forever, but you all know that's not my story. I needed a way to replace my income, so I needed money right now. The only way you can do that is if you know how to sell the stocks that you're in. So if it makes some profit, how do you sell? We'll teach you that on Friday. And then you'll have the guest speaker, Danielle Jervy Harmon. And you all, she will snatch, if you wear wigs like I do, she will snatch all your edges because she just comes so hard with her money mindsets. Like after listening to her, your whole mind will be blown. Like she's just amazing. So those are the 5 days. And then for our VIPs, each one of those nights, in addition to that learning, you'll also get some extra time with each of the speakers. So we actually have an interview each night. After we let everybody else go, the VIPs will stay on and you'll get time with me and the speaker each night where we're unscripted. And like, to me, I love those times the most because I feel like when we put our presentations together, we're going to be in teacher mode. We're going to be making sure that we hit all the points for the general masses, right? My goal was to have 100,000 people come to this event. So we're going to have to be, buttoned up, have our stuff together, do all the things for the presentations. But then in that unscripted time, that's when we get to answer your questions. That's when we get to talk about like, how did it really feel when you had to leave that job? Or what did you mean when you said this? Like, go a little deeper. What was that story that you talked about? What happened there? Oh, Teri, you mentioned this, but it's kind of fast. Can you re-go over it? We get that for the VIPs. And then on Saturday, you get an extra bonus day with me if you're a VIP. We have 2 additional hours for me to just answer whatever questions that you have. So
and the times is 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in
Eastern
general.
Time. Yeah. 7 to 9 Central.
And then if you're a VIP, then you get that extra time after and that extra 6th day.
Yes.
So and then
it's a lot.
For those of you guys asking too, because I want to really encourage you to invest in yourself, is that if you use my link to sign up, the Budgetnista stock bonuses, which has been below all this time, that I am adding additional bonuses on top. If you sign up for just the regular 5-day live lesson, I'm going to give you an ebook about learning to earn. If you sign up for the VIP, I'm going to give you the ebook Learn to Earn. I'm going to give you this investing tool, educational tool. I am also going to give you a class that I'm going to teach a Learn to Earn class. And I'm going to give you a Facebook group where for 6 days, we will be in that group together, learning together. And I'm going to go live a time or two with Teri. You know what I'm saying? So, and so like, that's all that you get. I mean, it's tremendous. It truly is. If you said to yourself this year, this is the year I'm going to start investing, or I'm going to increase my investing knowledge, then this is the sign you've been waiting for. Hello, because it's going to cost you more not to than what it would cost you to, period. Like if you were already in the market with $1,000, the cost of just the live 5-day masterclass is what you would have made had you been just in the S&P 500 if you were invested and you had 2 shares of SPY, which is an ETF that follows the S&P 500. You would have already had your $100. I know, look at you. Teri's a good teacher. Y'all keep playing with me. When you see me in the presidential suite and I act like, who's the Budgetnista? I got to figure out a new name. The Richanista. Something. Hey. And so it's $97. Some of you are asking, and then we're going to hang up because I'm tired. $97 for the 5-day the 5-day live masterclass, right? That's $97. If you want to upgrade to VIP, it's an additional $197, Teri? $194?
Yeah, so it ends up being $294 total. Yes. So if you're wanting to do the VIP, it's $294.
Okay, $294 if you want to do the VIP. That's the extra day. That's the extra lesson. That is all the bonuses that I just explained. And that's it. Those are the prices. So like
sorry, before you end it, some people are wondering like, oh, if we've done the challenge before, how is this different? So one, we're doing it in this huge, beautiful studio with all these Zoom screens behind us. And then the last time that I did this challenge was 2 years ago. So I'm doing it live, and all the data and information is going to be updated. And then you
Mhm.
guys know when I'm teaching live, I put all the random stuff in there that like just you should just know. Like you get all these extra gems for like the current market right now.
Mhm.
And then then you also have the guest speaker, so that's different too. So like it's actually quite different than what we've done before if you've done the 5-day challenge.
So $97 for regular ticket. For
Hmm.
VIP, it's 294.
Yes.
Yes. And somebody asked, how long will they have access to the replays?
I believe it's 6 months, so the end of the year.
Yeah. So, child.
Mhm.
Ah, hello. Okay. Yeah. So, Terry, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks
You
for having
know,
me.
yeah, I hope you guys, I wanted you to guys to see and hear from Terry, because I wanted you to, because it's important to know, like, do you like the teacher? Do you find them interesting? Are they fun? Are they engaging? Do they seem knowledgeable? And so I wanted you to see and hear her for yourself so you can make a decision what's right for you. I chose Terry because she was perfectly aligned with how I want to learn, but it might not be for you, and that's okay. Like, everybody don't love Tiffany. I don't know why, but everybody don't love Tiffany. So I wanted you to hear your teacher for yourself, because I'm gonna be walking with Terry all year and beyond. And so, Lord have mercy, people call me. I'm gonna be walking with Terry all year and beyond. And so I wanted you to know, like, this is phase one. There's other phases that I am going to be doing with Terry, and I will invite you along. You could decide to come along or not, but this is phase one. But I just want to say thank you, Coach.
My pleasure. Thank you guys. And I can't wait to see y'all in the challenge. Shout out to all of y'all that are signed up.
Yes, yes. So when to sign up? Look at y'all. Your love's waiting to the last minute. When to sign up? And I think it's because the 15th is when it starts. So whatever the day before
Right.
the
So the
15th is,
14th.
yeah, don't play
And
yourself.
it's a Sunday.
Hmm.
You
And
we really are 10 days out right now. So I would say don't even hold up. Get
yes,
your ticket. Like it's go time.
yes, it is. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Bye.